everybody, welcome to our Clash of Champions prediction show of the IWC Radio podcast. I'm Smoot, joining me, as always, Chucks and Will. Beans still on assignment in Spain somewhere, I believe.
Still in Spain?
Is he? I haven't heard from him.
That's a hell of a holiday if he's still in Spain.
I don't know. Has anybody checked on him?
I got lost.
It's possible. It's possible.
You tweeted something 9 hours ago. Let's see. He tweeted something out on the 1st. What about replies here? This is great radio today. Trying to
hunt down where Beans is.
Trying to track our co-host. Yeah.
He's on a secret assignment. That's all you need to say.
Yeah.
He's deep undercover, investigating something. His findings will come out in due course.
He threw something out last night at around September 13th. So, yeah, for all we know, he's in Spain still. He's still in Spain. But, yeah, we'll hopefully have his predictions at some point, either during or after the show. Keep an eye out on the Twitter for that. So, how you guys doing?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, not too bad. I'm ready to see some champions clash. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I remember when it was just a night of champions rather than...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I remember the night of champions. Do you remember when it was Vengeance Night of Champions?
Yeah, like that one time, yeah. And it just kind of morphed into it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I don't know if there's much to talk about news-wise. I really didn't give too much of a look at the newsy headlines or whatever from the dirt sheets here that we have. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything really to talk about. If there's anything you guys want to bring up real quick.
Apparently they're going to be rejigging the announce teams when SmackDown goes to Fox. The rumour is Michael Cole and Corey Graves are going to SmackDown.
Really?
And Vic Joseph will be taking over Raw, which I think is a big deal for him.
Yeah, he was that one night where he replaced Jerry Lawler.
Yeah,
was pretty good. Like he's good to go.
He is pretty good. He does NXT UK, and I think he's a 205 Live as well. But I've heard him on NXT UK, and he is pretty good. So.
Okay.
Don't know what's happening with Renee Young though. There seems to be a bit of secrecy on that one. No one's actually said where she's going or what she's doing. So, be interesting to see.
Also, I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything from Raw or SmackDown this week, which were both from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Really? Didn't ever mention that.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Had no idea where it was.
I did not catch SmackDown, but from what I heard, in regards to the King of the Ring tournament here, as we throw it up on the stream here, we had the triple threat from Monday night with Samoa Joe, Ricochet, and Corbin, where Baron Corbin won, so he's in the finals for the King of the Ring tomorrow.
So annoyed by that.
And
we called that. That was the original plan, and then I thought there was changes, so surely that means they wanted Joe to stay in. But apparently no, that they just did that, and just for no reason.
And then Elias, who was substituted out because he had an injury, which you did predict at some point. You did say there was going to be like an injury of some sort in this, Chucks, and then it would result in somebody substituting or a bye or something like that.
Did I say that?
I do remember that, yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't remember that at all, but I'll take it. I'll take credit.
I remember you saying something similar. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you predicted it was going to be Elias or anything, but I do remember you throwing it out there as something in that regard. Which Shane McMahon replaced Elias and made Kevin Owens the referee.
I thought that was going to be Samoa Joe. They were playing it up so perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then no, it was just Shane.
And Chad Gable, believe it or not, is in the finals for the King of the Ring. So
Hell yeah.
Is that actually going to be on the pay-per-view? As we get a shot of Wikipedia there for a moment. Sorry about that.
I think that was the original plan, but then they said on SmackDown it's going to be on Monday night. So
Really?
I'm guessing they found too many matches on.
Yeah, mainly because there's like 12. There's 11 matches, and that would be the 12th one, and they don't want to overcrowd the card, if you will.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Plus, it gives you something to build for Raw, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. Is there anything else you want to talk about with either Raw or SmackDown from either side? Again, I didn't see SmackDown, so I didn't.
We probably should. Raw opened with Steve Austin. And
Yeah.
again, he walking to the ring. The time his music hits and he walks to the ring, and already he's the most entertaining thing since he was last on the show a couple of months ago.
Yeah, we ran out of time for that promo.
But it's crazy how just being there, just standing, he has something that no one else has.
Yeah.
And I think we can complain about storylines and how nothing makes sense and there's no interest in, there's no, maybe the wrestling's good or maybe talent's better than ever, whatever. But none of it really matters. There's no one with charisma like Steve Austin or The Rock. Yeah. Even Jericho. Jericho's good. Jericho's really good, but there was something special about those guys that no one else has and no one else even comes close to.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they're like these big megastars that they really just can't produce anymore for some reason. Like John Cena was probably the last household superstar that they've ever had. Arguably, maybe Roman Reigns, but even then.
But even Cena, yeah, to a degree, he was as good as anyone else at during his time. But I don't think you can script that, whatever that is, that star power, the it factor.
The it factor.
Not Bobby Roode.
No, I get you. I get you on that.
It's sad. It's both the happiest I've been as a wrestling fan for a long time and the saddest, because it's so frustrating that that's what everyone wants to see, and no one can provide it as much as they want to, as hard as they try. No one can do it.
Yeah, it's very hard to replicate. That's why Steve Austin, ironically enough, says that if you can just like bottle that intensity and just be able to replicate it and just give it to whoever, you'd be in great standards with the
of
audience,
course.
Like you're right. Like I can't. Other than like maybe Cena, and even then, I can't think of anybody other than like The Rock that has like that huge of a crowd reaction whenever they just come out and everybody's on their feet for him.
There was a table for 3 I saw, which is actually quite an old one, but I'm well behind on them.
Yeah,
and I wanted to check out the new network layout because everyone's been bitching about it. And
how do you think about it, by the way?
Well, I use the desktop version, so I think everything's a lot easier with a mouse.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I was using an app, it would be frustrating. If I was doing it with like an Xbox controller or something. But it was fine. It was okay. But I watched this thing. It was one with Corey Graves and Renee and Lita. And they mentioned Corey Graves. They were talking about ever kind of marking out and being a fan and getting a bit starstruck. And Corey Graves said he turned a corner backstage once and unexpectedly ran into The Rock. And he said, like, this guy, he's huge. He's 6'8" or whatever, he's 6'6" or something. And he's jacked as hell. And he's got that Hollywood smile. And he's like, oh, yeah, he's not a normal guy. There's something about this guy that no one can do. Of course, no one can do that. And it's suddenly seeing this guy in person, he realized, oh, yeah, that's true. where'd you find that guy? And how'd you convince him to wrestle for a living?
Also, what are the odds that you just run into The Rock backstage like that, you know?
Yeah, well, and not know that he was there. Yeah. That's true. Anyway.
Yeah. That's crazy. Speaking of Table for Three, by the way, I just wanted to mention, like, I haven't checked out any of, like, the network shows in a really long time, so I'm long overdue for, like, a binge session for, like, Table for Three and stuff like that. Just wanted to throw that out there. It's completely unrelated.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched them for a while. I think the last one I saw was the Shane Angle one.
Yeah.
Who else was on that? Shane Angle and...
I can't remember. I'm trying to think.
That's annoying. I think I've seen that one. I've seen Kurt Angle in a couple of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may have been AJ. Angle's done one with, I think, Sting and AJ.
Yeah, because there was there was one where the first time they used some TNA footage and everyone went crazy.
Right. And Angle's done one with Edge and Christian as well.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He's been in quite a few. But they haven't done... I was actually looking for documentaries like the 24 or the 365 or whatever. I think there's only 3 365s. I was kind of disappointed by that, which I guess makes sense. It takes a year to film them. But
yeah,
it's kind of disappointed there's only 3 of those. I thought they'd be doing more.
Yeah.
Good.
Apparently there's a documentary coming up on Kane coming up soon.
Oh, yeah? Mayor Kane or the Demon Kane or Corporate Kane?
All of them combined.
Oh, wow.
Bit of Isaac Yankem as well.
The opening to this, we didn't really mention the contract signing on the what led up to this, basically, with Michael Cole in the ring and having Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins sit down to sign a piece of paper, and then being interrupted by AJ Styles, and then Michael Cole just being all like, "AJ, we're trying to conduct business out here. Please stop interrupting us." And then Austin was, poking fun at Michael Cole on Twitter, and then said, next week at Madison Square Garden, I'll be here to be the moderator. And then they just basically had the same segment.
Yeah. Except Steve Austin was there, so it was great.
Yeah, apparently. Like, I didn't see this live, but, like, I caught the mid-show replay, and they highlighted everything, leading up to this. The only difference was, like, AJ got hit with a stunner, which I don't think Michael Cole could do.
It wouldn't have been the same, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, Cole hitting the stunner on AJ, I think people might not have bought into that one. That was cool as well. That was kind of old school wrestling with the brawl, and then he was on his own in the ring, and Steve was there behind him. He's behind you. He's going to stun you. That was great. I liked all of that. Austin's story about not having been in the Garden for 20 years, being knocked out that time.
Yeah.
Entertaining guy.
Speaking of The Rock, he tweeted, he said he watched it and he thought that was really good as well. Yeah, it was good. Good to see him back.
And what else was on Raw? We then had AJ wrestling, Cedric Alexander, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Wasn't the main event, was a 10-man tag, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Rude and Ziggler wanted to join the club.
Yeah, I kind of tuned out of that at that point. Also, a lot of people, some people thought, and also Jason Solomon, the Solomonster, thought that maybe during the contract signing, maybe Bray Wyatt as the Fiend would come out and attack Austin, which that honestly would have been a moment if that happened, or even the Undertaker as well on SmackDown.
Kind of teased it a bit in the Funhouse. He's definitely talking about Austin.
Yeah.
As after the signing had already happened, but
the 316,
Yeah.
on the clock, and they adjusted it to 11:19, where some people made their own conclusions as to what that entailed. Which some
Wasn't
people
that just the time?
no, some people were able to sleuth out that like November 19th, I believe, is the Undertaker's birthday. I believe.
As in the debut birthday or his actual shoot birthday?
I think the the debut birthday or whatever.
Okay. Survivor Series 1990 was on November the 22nd. So, uh-oh. Maybe not that then.
Maybe somebody edited it real quick. And
November
yeah,
19th. This year is a Tuesday, so that's a smack. Oh no, that will be on Fridays by then, won't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so not that.
March 24th, by the way, 1965 is the shoot birthday.
So it's not that either.
Yeah, assuming that might have gotten tampered with as well. There's also like a Bible verse that people were citing.
Oh.
As well.
So like Bray 11:19 says, "I just hammered the clock."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Undertaker made his debut on a taping of Superstars on November 19th, 1990, is what it was.
Oh, so before his Survivor Series debut, he was. Let's see.
Assuming that's true.
Huh.
Ezekiel 11:19, new international version. Quote, I will give them an undivided heart and put a new spirit in them. I will remove from their heart of stone and give them a heart of flesh.
So
Whatever
there
that
you
means.
His debut was Kane the Undertaker.
So I had to re-find the source on that one. So there you go. What else happened on either show? Rey Mysterio defeated Grand Metalik. If anybody cared about that, I mean, it was a good match. But like, it wasn't the whole purpose of like Rey Mysterio getting back in the ring just so that Dominic could like tag up with him before he retires?
Yeah.
This just seems like a weird fodder match for TV. Let's see here. Natalya defeated Lacey Evans, who didn't have Seth written on her butt anymore. Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair defeated SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley and Sasha Banks. I don't really care about that. And that was pretty much that was Raw. In a nutshell, there basically. And that 10-man tag, by the way, was just like I said, it just I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. I was just like, you're gonna come back to Madison Square Garden for the first time in like 11 years, and you're gonna have a 10-man tag. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, what would you have done?
Probably just a normal one-on-one main event, maybe.
With like Seth Rollins and AJ or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
It felt like a bit of a house show main event where you get all the faces to win and everyone goes home happy.
Well, that's what they would usually do after the show.
Yeah,
a dark main event where the faces just win and it's all a bit fun. That's the actual main events on TV these days.
And then you have Stone Cold come out again.
Yeah.
Obviously in a rush because he didn't have much time left on it.
Yeah. Also, somebody pointed out that last time Raw was in Madison Square Garden, the main event was DX versus Cena and Undertaker versus Big Show and Chris Jericho.
Jericho. I remember that.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Yeah, and then 10 years later, it's a 10-man tag.
That's the last time Raw was in the Garden.
In the Garden.
No, right. Because they did a house show there last year, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't they do one of those weird, like, not Beast in the East, but one of those weird shows there? Didn't they do like Starcade or the kind of dark ones they put on their network?
Something like that, maybe. I don't know.
They did, yeah. Oh god, yeah. It was the Big Show was involved in it.
Right.
I know what you mean. No, they did. Trying to remember what it's called, but can't remember.
I will look it up. Not that it matters at all.
You're right though. It was something like the Beast in the East kind of thing.
Somebody else pointed out retired part-time / NXT part-time retired / sitcom AEW champ. What a difference 10 years could make.
It was 2015. It was actually called Live from Madison Square Garden.
Oh, there you go.
Lesnar Big Show was the main event.
Wow. And yeah.
Then SmackDown, they had The Undertaker show up and do his thing, just saying, I might not have many returns left. And then Sami Zayn interrupts.
Is this what Undertaker does now? Just come out and spout nonsense for a bit and someone else comes out?
Pretty much, yeah. He didn't say rest in peace this time. That was unfortunate. I enjoyed it. Sami Zayn did his thing. He was quite good. It was a real clash of kind of eras. It felt weird seeing these two together. Something didn't really fit. But he did a good job. Took a choke slam. That was it. Then that whole thing with Chad Gable. Kevin Owens was made the special ref. He then called for the submission when Shane tapped and got fired for it. There was stuff on both shows with the women, the 4 NXT horsewomen. That's a thing now. Eric Rowan did a promo. About it. Oh, and Kofi Kingston. Remember how whenever they would talk about AJ, it would be he debuted in WCW, then he kind of just worked the indies or whatever. Then he was in Japan and now he's here. They'd like just miss out 10 years of his career conveniently. They did the same with Samoa Joe. Japan, indies, something. And now he's here. And Sting too. They did the same. WCW, and then who knows where he went. And now he's here. They did a similar thing with Kofi, where, if you remember, he did the boom drop through the table onto Randy Orton 10 years ago. And that's like all they ever talk about.
Yeah.
He did that thing 10 years ago. And since then, don't know.
I mean, they kind of looks like they repeated the same spot from 10 years ago as well. From
the table didn't want to cooperate. It's Randy Orton's luck with the tables again.
Right?
So Kofi was on the table and he was kicking at Randy Orton to kind of get him away. And as he kicked Randy Orton, the table just collapsed. And it was really obvious they were building up to the thing. They were doing the fake out with Orton putting him on it, and then they were going to do the switch. But the table collapsed, and it's like, oh shit, that was the big spot. What are we going to do now? He stood there for a second and then found another table and just did it anyway.
I'll have to go back and watch it because I'm sure they edited it for the YouTube.
They may have.
It just seems like that's the only thing that they can bring up, other than the paint on the NASCAR car and some other stuff as well.
Right, which was like the week before or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember that more than I do the table spot. Don't know why.
Same, honestly.
I remember that table spot because he got such a great reaction for it, and it really felt like, wow, this guy's actually could be something now.
He's going somewhere. He's going places.
Yeah. He just didn't. That was not in the plans.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just now watching it. Yeah, I don't see the other table getting crumpled or whatever.
No.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it live or whatever from a source. So, should we get into the prediction game now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because it seems like, there just wasn't much else on SmackDown from what I was reading and whatnot. It just seems like the Kevin Owens firing was the main headline. So
yeah, and obviously he's not on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So kind of the big finale of SmackDown, and a lot of what SmackDown was built up for was King of the Ring. So now we know who's in the final. It's going to be King Corbin and King Chad, and Kevin Owens and Shane and the firing. And neither of those things are going to be on the pay-per-view. This was one of the stranger, emptier go-home shows.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Where are we going to start? We don't know what's on the pre-show. They haven't announced it yet. So all I can do is work backwards. There's one match that isn't for the title. So this is Clash of Champions. The champions are important. Let's do the one non-title match. Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan, who has his first name back, presumably because Roman and Rowan sound too similar. That's my prediction on if that ever comes out. Because usually they hate having the same name. They've got Eric Rowan now. They've given him Eric, even though there is an Eric Viking on the other show.
Oh, yeah.
And an Eric Young somewhere as well.
Yeah.
3 Erics. And Eric Bischoff writing it.
Yeah, he was going for the 24/7 championship last time we saw Eric Young.
How long ago was that? Must have been a while.
Months.
Yeah. Sanity aren't doing anything. What should we do with them? Well, just split them up and do nothing with any of them, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Same as the Riot Squad. They're losing a lot. Maybe we should do something. Split them up, do nothing with them. Plan. Roman Reigns, Eric Rowan. This is a no DQ match, and Roman wants some revenge for 2 attempted homicides.
Is that what we're going with? Is attempted homicide?
It looks like it.
All right. I mean, if anything, it looked like on the surveillance footage. If you go back and watch it, it looked like Eric Rowan was trying to take out Kayla Braxton more than Roman Reigns.
Well, so he was behind the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So how did he knock it over?
He just pushed it or whatever.
But he was on the wrong side. It fell from where the camera was.
Yeah.
And he was behind it.
Yeah.
He was just there.
And how did the people with the footage not see it the first time around? How did they
I watched the footage wondering why that happened.
Yeah.
And it just cuts off.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
just cut to a different camera before you can see it.
Yeah,
so it would have been there the whole time.
Yeah, how does the editor not see, oh, there's somebody behind this thing pushing it over?
Eric Rowan walking off like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Also, there's so much wrong. And you don't need me to point it out. I'm sure you know. They found a fake Eric Rowan 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, what the hell was the point of that?
Pulled the hood off, and there was a fake Eric Rowan there. There was a duplicate.
Yeah.
What happened to him? Where did he go? What happened in that room after the cameras cut off?
Yeah.
Did Roman Reigns just go and walk off? Did he beat them up? What happened?
Yeah, and what was the whole ordeal on Twitter making it seem like there was a temp worker, and the original guy was took the day off or something like that? What?
So he was a temp staffer, and he decided to try and kill Roman?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, why the next week was that never brought up again? And why was Daniel Bryan so sure that the grainy guy in the back that walked off like Bigfoot was the real Eric Rowan and not the guy that looks just like him?
I don't know.
He saw the footage. I have proof that this is Eric Rowan. It's a guy that looks just like Eric Rowan, like the other guy. Daniel Bryan's somehow completely convinced. Slaps him around.
Yeah, this entire storyline's fucking awful.
Hmm.
Anyway, because of all of that, I'm going with Reigns here. He hasn't won in a while. They're trying to make Rowan into this big unstoppable monster. I'm sure the finish to the match is going to be some hokey shit or whatever. Since it's no DQ, they're just going to pin Rowan with a bunch of garbage or the announce table or something like that.
Yeah. I feel like the no DQ thing means maybe Daniel Bryan could get involved. It's kind of easier for Reigns to get screwed.
Possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. I have Reigns written down here, but I'm going to change it.
Really?
Yeah, Rowan. I'm going with Rowan. They're pushing him. I think maybe Brian could get involved, cost Roman the match, and then that's where we go from here.
That's a broad assumption.
It is. It's a prediction.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm sure on that one. I'm going with Roman.
Going with Reigns as well, alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a safe bet. You're probably right. Right, where should we go now? Let's do the Cruiserweight, because the Cruiserweight's always on the pre-show. We have the champion is Drew Gulak, and it's another three-way. He is defending against Lince Dorado. No other Lucha, what are they, Lucha Dragons? Lucha House Party. Just one of them. And Humberto Carrillo. It's going to be his, I think, first appearance on like a main roster show.
I don't know who he is, so should I?
Not unless you watch, where would he have been, AAA or something?
No, I'm not aware of him. I'm going with Gulak.
Yeah, I'm going with Gulak too. This is probably going to be the last pay-per-view championship for the 205 Live title, or the Cruiserweight Championship, if you will. Unless, it gets absorbed by NXT or something like that. But, yeah, I'm going with Gulak. I feel.
Yeah. I've got Gulak written down here too. I think it'd be more fun if they go with someone else, but what the hell. Then...
So, real quick,
the women.
Hold on.
Oh,
I've pulled up the footage here.
Oh!
Hold on.
Okay, so...
Do some investigations of our own.
So, also, by the way, there we are on the sidebar here. There we go. So, here's the video. I'm just gonna play. I have it muted. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. Hopefully, we don't get flagged or anything like that. But, so Rowan's behind. You can see my mouse cursor. Rowan's behind right here. He's nowhere near where Reigns is, who's already on the ground, and he just shoves the boxes. And he almost nails Caleb Braxton, who's all the way over here, off to the side. So
this thing has fallen from where the camera is.
Yeah.
Back towards where. Yeah, right. So he only pushes that one.
Yeah,
So how did the other ones fall over? And the first thing that fell was falling from completely the other direction. So that was not him.
Yeah. This angle sucks. I hate it.
Can you play it a bit more? Because if you remember the famous
he just walks
Bigfoot
off.
footage,
Yeah, right there.
he walks exactly like.
Just pushes the curtain over.
Yep.
See, he just keeps going. Yep, he just walks like Bigfoot. There you go. Alright, so there you are. So that's pretty much the, that's the angle. It sucks, man. I hate it.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
That was great analysis, but there's one thing that was missing.
What?
Oh.
Your big yellow pen.
Oh, my big yellow pen! I mean... They did the work for me with the spot shadowing.
They did, to be fair.
I don't know if that would help in making a fair use case or whatever, but we could, I don't know if I have it enabled on the telestrator here. Hold on. I do, but, it's kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, we can do a quick thing here, I guess. Here, hold on.
I'm gonna draw some arrows.
Yeah.
Could you just point out where Caleb Braxton is for me? Because I'm not sure.
She would be right around over here. Oh, wait, that's black. Hold on. She would be right around over here, and we have Eric Rowan right around here, and he goes this way, as the footage, as you're about to see, is going to prove as we roll it. See, right there, he almost nails Kayla, according to my point again.
Brilliant.
There you go. Anyway, moving on. Moving on.
Almost looked like you were going to try and draw it in a way that made the shape of a penor.
No.
Oh well.
That would be very childish.
It would be
Yeah,
funny.
that would be childish. Yeah.
Right, so what we said, we had Gulak or the Cruiserweight. Then
Three
how about
Gulaks.
3 Gulaks? The perfect number. The women's tag title, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross only just won it a few weeks ago. They defend against Fire and Desire.
I had this written down somewhere. Oh yeah, Fire and Desire for me.
Fire and Desire.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what Eva Marie and Mandy Rose were going to be.
Nobody really cares.
Red and gold.
Red and Gold, but I'm pretty sure like the Fire and Desire name was thrown out at one point. For this
Okay.
show. Maybe in the Total Diva days or whatever. Yeah, Bliss and Cross have been losing to them. I think a couple times here.
I don't think anyone actually cares about them. It's just going to be their turn to have it for a bit. And then it'll be somebody else in a few months.
Well, they're teasing that whole lesbian angle or whatever.
Yeah, that never went anywhere.
Maybe
It's the second time.
yeah, maybe they win the belts and then have a live sex celebration. So there you go.
Oh, hey.
So I'll go with Fire and Desire.
Alexa and Nikki for me. I think they're going to retain for now.
Gonna retain?
Yeah. I then have predictions about the rest of the Division 2,
Oh boy.
which is fortunate because they're coming up next. What are we going to do now? Let's do the mid-card titles. Let's go with the IC title on SmackDown here. We've got Shinsuke Nakamura defending against The Miz in a match that no one wants to see.
I legit forgot about the Intercontinental Championship, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the resources, but when was the last time the Intercontinental title was defended on, like, any show?
I will look that up while you guys...
Would it have been when Nakamura won it?
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna go with Miz, because I mean, it's anybody's call here, really. Either Nakamura retains and just continues doing nothing with it, or Miz, who's been kind of, like, killing it lately, gets some kind of a title to, go and coincide with the Miz and Mrs. TV show. So I'm gonna go with Miz here, if you ask me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Nakamura apparently won the belt at Extreme Rules before the show. It was a dark match before the show, apparently.
Wow.
So he just kind of had it.
Who did he
and
win
then
it
he-
off of?
Finn Balor, before he took some time off.
They
Then
never acknowledged that, I don't think.
I'm sure that was actually on the show.
I think they
Pre-show.
showed a replay of it a bit later on. But yeah.
What was it? Extreme Rules?
Yeah, Extreme Rules. So then he did defend it on that Smackville special.
Oh god.
You remember that?
Yeah.
What the hell? So apparently the Bridgestone Arena, also known as the Gaylord Entertainment Center.
Hey!
That's my favourite arena.
You're very entertained by things there. That's right.
Yeah. There is a funny arena-based story, actually. I saw during the week the American Airlines Arena.
Yeah.
Apparently the name's up for renewal.
Oh.
And the porn site Bang Bros
God.
has put a bid in to name the arena.
I bet they could afford it at this point too.
We could well be seeing Raw coming from the Bang Bros Arena.
Yeah. The Bang Bros Center, the BBC.
Raw from the BBC. Oh God, hosting Raw of all things.
Yeah,
Nah.
that'd be great. I want that to happen.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, the point is,
Yeah.
Intercontinental
So
title
that was the last time.
Yeah, it's flown
The last
under
time it was
radar.
defended was July the 27th.
And we're in September 14th, by the way, so...
Mm.
Yikes.
Nakamura Barrow was definitely on the pre-show.
Okay.
Okay. It's listed here as dark, but I guess that just means before the pay-per-view went.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'll go with Miz.
Yeah, I think Miz deserves it, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with Nakamura.
Nakamura, Chucks.
Nakamura to retain.
Son of a gun. Okay, well.
I quite like this thing he's doing with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's a fun guy to have around.
All the more reason for Miz to win it, and then have him face Sami Zayn or whatever.
No, I like him as the manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about the other side? We have AJ defending the US title against Cedric Alexander.
Let's see here. Styles is the champ. The OC are champs.
The OC. He's a champ.
Well,
The other guy's not so much.
who's got the Raw tags? Oh, right. They won.
The main event guys.
Yeah.
That's right.
AJ winning this, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning with AJ. Well, let me think. I'm trying to think of like long term here a little bit, which is probably what gets me in the most trouble with these sort of things, honestly. What's Alexander done on the main show? Not much.
Not a lot.
So like if I pick Styles, I could see them just doing like Cedric Alexander won, what an upset, stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
Fuck it, I'll go with Alexander. I'm in last place. Why not?
He's doing it.
Because what I'm thinking is like obviously Rollins and Strowman are gonna lose the Raw tag to Rude and Ziggler, in my opinion, because they're gonna
Obviously, you say.
Yeah, because they're gonna make some animosity amongst each other for the Universal title. And then I don't know who's gonna win the Universal title, but I think Rude Ziggler wins it, and then that's when they're gonna clash with the OC because they're trying to join or whatever, and maybe the OC gets the titles back off of them. The original, the only club that matters. The OC.
I've got Styles retaining.
You think so? That's probably the smart call.
I don't know, because I think you're right that there's something about Cedric Alexander. They seem to like him.
Yeah.
AJ's doing nothing, but going into the new TV deal, if they're really going to try and present something big and whatever, AJ's a good champion to have.
Mm.
Good champion
Good
to have,
feature.
but he could be like the champion, like the SmackDown champion or whatever.
Well, apparently they are going to do another shake-up.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Orton goes to Raw or something like that, and then Kofi versus Styles or whatever. Could happen.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Yeah. Will, what do you think?
I picked AJ.
Wait, who'd you say? I'm sorry.
AJ.
AJ?
Yeah.
Son of a gun. My bad.
All right, then. Let's go right there. Raw tag titles. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. We need a team name for these guys. Has Dolph Ziggler even got a character that we can sum up in a word? Not really. Stand up and Robert Roode. He's glorious and shitty stand-up comedian. Glorious and laborious. I don't know. So we've got Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler defending against Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. Can Rollins and Strowman coexist?
Yes.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna win this, and then give me a prediction away for the main event. Strowman's gonna beat him, and then they've got to work together until, even though they hate each other.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm thinking it's gonna be one of those spots where, like, you know, Rollins bumps into Strowman doesn't, you know, see it, and he thinks Rollins is trying to start shit or whatever.
At the worst possible time.
Right, things break
But,
down.
hey.
You know, somebody gets like either Roode or Ziggler gets like the fluke roll up 1, 2, 3. That's it, and then we have new tag champs. So I'm going with Roode and Ziggler.
They keep making a big thing about how the matches is going to have to defend the titles straight after each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's gonna be some shenanigans at the end of the match where one of them's knocked out or something, and then
Possible.
bit like a Money in the Bank finish.
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
I've got Roode and Ziggler too, for that same reason. I think it's a bit of last minute heat. Who's going to play? Presumably Strowman would have to play heel in that one. So maybe they lose the belts, Strowman attacks Rollins, and then the main event starts with Rollins on the back foot. Something like that.
So you're going with Roode and Ziggler as well, Will? Correct?
Roode and Ziggler.
I'm not. No, I'm going with Rollins and Strowman.
Oh. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's 2019. I shouldn't assume matches. Yeah, let's go into the Universal title then, right after that. If that's what's gonna...
No, I thought that was going to be our main event. But yeah, okay, that does kind of make sense.
Yeah.
We'll go with the other main event for the thing. Rollins Strowman. And the winner, keep in mind, has to face the Beast? No, that's not right. The Fiend. The other one, not the Demon, not the Beast. The Fiend in Hell in a Cell. See you in Hell. They've used that one.
See you in Hell. Oh,
who will be seeing the Fiend in Hell?
I'm not sure. Because they're trying to build the Fiend up as like the bad guy. You would think it would be Strowman because he can do like superhuman, abnormal things.
And he used to be Bray Wyatt's lackey.
That is true. That is very true. I think if it's Rollins, it's going to be a very milquetoast, run-of-the-mill Hell in a Cell match, I feel. Which is it's something I don't want.
That's exactly what I'm predicting.
Really?
Yeah, of course. It's WWE, of course, it's going to be a milquetoast run-of-the-mill Hell in a Cell match. What else are you expecting?
It's true, yeah. I don't know, just with Strowman, there's potential, because he can do, like, some crazy things. Like, the other day on his Instagram, he was doing, like, backflips off of, like, a cliff into, like, this, river. Body of water, yeah.
Do you think he's going to, like, moonsault off the cell or something?
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be great.
Like, off of the, like, cell wall or something, just do, like, a plancha or something. Rollins has had it for a while. I'm kind of tired. I'm over the whole, like, boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic of champions. The cover for 2K19's out, or 2K20 is out. it's done and over with. I'm going with Strowman.
Damn. I feel like that's a bold prediction.
Because like I like the aspect of the whole, like, you know, former Bray Wyatt lackey going up against you know, Bray Wyatt now. So, and then maybe Strowman could lose it to the Fiend there. Well, actually, well, maybe Rollins could win it, and then. Oh yeah, you know what? I want to change. I want to go back to Rollins. I'm going back to Rollins. I'll go with Rollins, and then Rollins loses to the Fiend in Hell in a Cell. So you're picking Rollins, Chuck, right?
I'm picking Rollins.
And Will?
Yeah, I want to say Strowman, but I think Rollins is going to win it.
I want to say Strowman too. So there you go.
Rollins. So yeah, well, yeah, you can Rollins as well. Man, I want it to be Strowman now. You've sold me on it. Just when you go and change your mind. So what do we do now? Let's go back to SmackDown tags. We've got the Revival, Raw's The Revival, challenging the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Championship.
New Day. Where is this here? Sorry, I'm distracted with some other things at the moment. Oh, right here in the middle. I forgot Revival were on SmackDown. They were like Shane McMahon's lackeys for a while, and then that was it.
And now they're Randy Orton's, yeah.
New Day's got... Who's the champs heading into this? New Day, right?
New Day, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Revival. Oops. It's coming up cross out. Oops, sorry about that. Hold on. Hang on. Who are you going with, Ducks?
Also, the Revival. They've done these kind of cross-brand title matches before, but never actually gone with the other side winning the wrong belt. I think that maybe this could be a way of bringing the Revival over to SmackDown to be with Randy Orton longer term. Or
and it gives them like the tag titles so that they can stop complaining and whatnot, and the whole AEW aspect.
Yeah, that's true. With the shake-up, do you want the New Day going back to Raw? Do you have Kingston lose as well? Do you have Randy Orton and the Revival win all of the belts? Yeah. I don't know, there's a lot to think of. I just think the Revival wins, goes to SmackDown. They carry on as a six-man feud.
Yeah, I'm going with Revival as well.
Oh, man. Cool. So then we are down to just 3. Let's do the women's title matches. SmackDown women's title is Bayley defending against Charlotte.
All right. I have at the bottom of the spreadsheet because I needed to make room. How many? Charlotte's like what? Like a 10-time champion now? 11-time?
I think she.
It's getting
is
up
only.
there.
Is it 9?
It's getting up there.
SmackDown 4 times, Raw 4 times, Divas once, so 9 times. This would be the 10th.
Yeah. I think Bayley just got it. She's got to retain here if she has any. Oh wow, has any sort of hope to be taken seriously as a heel, especially with being partners with Sasha Banks, in my opinion. So I think she's got to retain. even though she's not on the marketing material for the SmackDown adverts on Fox.
Bailey.
I'm probably wrong on that, so I'm probably, gonna lose a point there.
I'm gonna go with Charlotte.
Charlotte. For number 10. I've got Bailey to retain because, and this is my next prediction, I think the Boss and Hug Connection are going to have both singles belts come the end of the night.
Really? So you're gonna go with Bailey as well?
I'm going to go with Bailey, and I'm going to go with Sasha. And I think at some point soon, we could be seeing Becky and Charlotte win the women's tag belts.
Ah.
Hmm.
Okay. Will, who are you going with?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah. That's why I was asking for the title record, because they are kind of jacking that up a little bit. But with the recent news of Ric Flair trying to almost sue WWE for the man trademark.
Really?
Yeah. That's supposedly something that's happening.
I thought he was more of a company man. He'd be okay with it.
It's not suing as such. He wanted to trademark it himself.
Yeah.
So not necessarily to stop them from using it, but just to get some recognition.
Apparently, the end of the rival, he actually said to WWE, you can carry on using it. But he wants the actual trademark, which I don't really see an issue with, but apparently WWE do.
They want
they
don't like anyone getting in their way.
So yeah, it has led to a bit of animosity, shall we say.
So, I've predicted Sasha to beat Becky, to finally take Becky 2 belts, his second belt. Sasha, Becky, what have you guys got?
Becky, for me.
Yeah, I'll go with... If Rollins is retaining, I would say Becky's a safe bet to take here.
Beat Sasha just after she's finally come back after all this time? Nah. Not this one. And then finally, our main event of the prediction game. Probably not the main event of the show. Kofi Kingston.
Right.
His 11-year career has brought him to this point.
Again.
He is defending against Randy Orton again. No stipulation. I hope this one has a finish. You could predict that it just kind of ends like it did last time.
I don't know. Kofi got the upper hand on SmackDown from what I saw of the clip on YouTube, the table spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
All it takes is one RKO. I'll go with Kofi. There you go. And also, Will, who'd you pick in the New Day Revival match? Revival?
Yeah.
Thought so. But Kofi's had the title for quite a long time, so I mean...
Since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Same as Becky.
It's just the feud with Orton, I mean, has been stuff in the past as the major driving force for the angle entirely, so, I mean... A rivalry renewed, if you will.
Mm. So it's, Will, Kofi or Randy?
Kofi.
Kofi to keep on going. All right, we're done. We just need Beans to send his predictions in now.
So this is all Kofi, you said?
All Kofi.
Okay. Yeah, we'll ship this off to Beans, and then whenever he gets back from Spain, we'll fill those in for you. Maybe he'll do it. Here, I'm gonna do it right now, actually, while I still have things going. There we go. Bam. All right. So that is it. That's our prediction show. I'm not sure if there's anything else you guys want to add.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Night of Champions tomorrow night on pay-per-view. Check your local listings for the start time. I think it's like 7 Eastern for the pre-show, 8 o'clock for the main thing. We'll be back next week, hopefully, for the breakdowns of all the matches and whatnot. It should be a good show, I hope. It has potential to be, but again, you know, the track record lately has been kind of like up in the air for pay-per-view shows for WWE. So we'll see you then. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good night.